Okay, good, Arman. Now tell me,
Yes, sir.
what can you tell about Indian Coast Guard in the sense that what is its role, some brief history about Coast Guard, what are its main operations and achievements throughout its historical progress, and what kind of structure does it have in the organization, what kind of special training is given to the cadets who join Coast Guard, where is it given, how is Coast Guard role and Coast Guard's functioning different or common with Indian Navy, some kind of comparison with Indian Navy. Whatever you can tell about Coast Guard.
Sure, sir. Okay. So, sir, I'm going to speak about the Indian Coast Guard, which is the fourth armed force of India and the primary agency responsible for securing our vast maritime interests. The Coast Guard was informally inducted on 1st February 1977, but however, it formally came into existence on 8th August 1978 according to the Coast Guards Act. This Coast Guard was formed through the recommendations of the Rustomjee Committee, which was formed as a result of the 1971 Indo-Pak War and also for the growing need of a dedicated maritime security force. Currently, the Coast Guard operates under the Ministry of Defence, but it functions as an independent agency and has multi-missionary roles. So, sir, now I'll talk about the roles and responsibilities of the Indian Coast Guard. The first role is of maritime safety and conducting search and rescue operations. The Coast Guard is responsible for conducting the search and rescue operations across the vast territory, and also it has saved thousands of individuals during natural calamities, ship accidents, and even distress calls. The second responsibility of the Coast Guard is to enforce the maritime law. So, the Coast Guard enforces law related to maritime zones, fisheries, customs, and narcotics. The third responsibility is marine environmental protection. The Coast Guard helps in combating oil spills, pollution, and also protecting vulnerable resources such as corals and mangroves. The fourth responsibility is patrolling and providing coastal security. The Coast Guard patrols the 7,500 plus kilometer coastline and the 2.02 million kilometer of economic exclusive zones against the infiltration, smuggling, and illegal fishing. Finally, sir, the Coast Guard also plays a major role in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. It provides immediate assistance during natural calamities such as cyclones, floods, and tsunamis. During peacetime, the Coast Guard plays a constabulary role of patrolling the vast coastline, but however, in times of war, it provides support to the Indian Navy. Now, I'd like to talk about the organizational structure and the capabilities of the Indian Coast Guard. Headquartered at Delhi, the Indian Coast Guard is headed by the Director General of the Indian Coast Guard, who is an officer of the rank equivalent to the Additional Secretary to the Government of India. And also, under the Class A officers, the rank structure is as follows. It starts with the Assistant Commandant under probation, then Assistant Commandant, followed by Deputy Commandant, followed by Commandant, followed by Deputy Inspector General, followed by Inspector General, and finally the Director General. So, the Coast Guard has 5 regional headquarters, which are the Northwestern region headquartered at Gandhinagar, the Western region headquartered at Mumbai, the Eastern region headquartered at Chennai, the Northeast region headquartered at Kolkata, and the Andaman and Nicobar region headquartered at Port Blair. The Coast Guard also has several stations, air enclaves, and other resources at its disposal. Now, to talk about the resources that it contains, this modern fleet consists of offshore patrol vessels, fast patrol vessels, hovercrafts, and also a growing aviation wing consisting of Dornier aircrafts and advanced light helicopters. Under the Coast Guard modernization plan, there is the need for an expansion of indigenous platforms aligning with the views of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, sir, I would like to talk about the key achievements and contributions of the Indian Coast Guard. The first achievement is that it has conducted thousands of successful operations against anti-smuggling and anti-poaching along the coastline. It has also played a pivotal role in Operation Sahayata, which is a dedicated name for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief during natural calamities such as cyclones, Vyas, and Tahasta. Also, the Coast Guard has done regional cooperation between countries. That is, it has maintained international diplomacy with countries during exercises such as Exercise Dost, that is with countries Maldives and Sri Lanka, then Exercise Malabar, and Exercise RIMPAC, which stands for Rim of the Pacific. Finally, the Coast Guard has enhanced coastal security post the 26/11 Mumbai attacks through a coastal surveillance network and also community engagement consisting of Sagar Rakshak Dal and Sagar Prahari Bal. In 2026, the Coast Guard has encouraged a capacity building, induction of technology such as AI and drones for surveillance, and also green initiatives for sustainable maritime development. Now, to talk about the key challenges and the way forward, despite numerous successes, the Coast Guard faces several challenges, such as the vast coastline, then the asymmetric threats, then the illegal activities, and also the occurrence of untimely natural disasters. However, the Coast Guard has significantly combated this by using interagency coordination, intelligence gathering, and also the need towards a blue economy. In conclusion, I would like to say that the Coast Guard stands as a vigilant guardian of our nation's maritime sovereignty. Always alert, always ready. I am confident that through dedication and through continuous modernization, the Coast Guard will go ahead to enhance our nation's blue frontiers.
But what about this training aspect?
Yes, sir.
Training and a little bit of differentiation between Coast Guard
Yes, sir.
and Navy.
Okay, sir. So the training aspects of the Coast Guard cadets are trained along with the naval cadets in the Indian Naval Academy stationed at Ezimala, Kerala, and the training will be for a duration of 44 weeks. And the similarity between the Coast Guard and Navy is that they both operate in the water region with ships and all. But the key difference I could say, sir, between the Coast Guard and Navy is that the Navy mainly operates 20 nautical miles beyond the country, that is in the ocean region. But however, the Coast Guard operates within the coastline region, that is within 20 nautical miles near the country, sir.
Okay, Aman.
Yes, sir.
That's a good narrative that you have given about Coast Guard
Yes, sir.
and its achievements, organization structure, and its operations, and the role and responsibility which is very important and played successfully by Coast Guard over all these years. And you have given a good insight about its comparison with Navy and the training aspect also. Okay,
Yes,
so that's a good information about Coast Guard. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
that is it. Okay.